Hello, this is Tom Prendergast. I'm the CEO of Market Hive, and I have with me Gates. He's the
Hello.
CTO, and we're going to kind of talk about the state of the ICO, IEO, EIEIO, and what they all mean. You've heard of ICO. Not that I want to dwell a lot on it. It was a really great idea at one time, but it wound up becoming misused and leveraged to promote a lot of Ponzi schemes. So the initial coin offering idea was great it raised a lot of money for a lot of ICO companies. I think that's something like what 80 some percent or more were scams, and pretty much nobody really wants to have anything to do with them anymore. I think if somebody hears it's an ICO, they either do a tremendous amount of due diligence or they just run.
Yeah, I was reading an article the other day that basically this new era is you can't really fund off a white paper anymore. You have to fund off of fundamentals. Real company fundamentals. Great idea, great team, and a proven path to profitability.
Yeah, like financials.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
to show that you've got a track record. You actually have what's I think they call it traction. So then, so along comes the IEO, which is like an ICO. The commonality between the two is that they're selling you tokens based on a speculation that they're going to be worth more down the road. The difference is an IEO is sponsored by and run by the exchange. So you have a significant exchange doing it. There's a lot more credibility because supposedly the exchange has done the due diligence before they put their name on the line to run a crowdfunding on a projected token speculation. The biggest problem of an ICO is too few people owning a majority is too few people owning a majority of the token circulation because it's contained inside of a an exchange, and you promote it outside and you got thousands of people that want to do it, but they got to sign up in the exchange, then they got to go through the KYC. That can take weeks, months, and you know that when you have that type of delay, the emotional connection to want to invest cools off, and so the effect's not as good. It's a much more viable option to the ICO, but it still has what I consider fundamental issues.
Yeah, I agree. And plus, it puts control in too few hands. Um, you and I like to spread it out, spread the wealth out across a greater number of people, which basically helps everybody because it doesn't put the control of a coin in a single entity or a single group of people, small group of people.
Yeah, I'm of the school that it's far better to raise a couple thousand off of a million people than to raise a couple million off of 1,000 people, or to raise a couple thousand, a lot of money from just a handful of people. It benefits more people. It fits in our mission statement in Market Hive to lift up the lives of literally millions of people. So the IEO doesn't really pertain to what we want to do anyway. And we don't really enter into this now that we getting to the crux of this, the ILP. We don't really enter into this market like an ICO would. Um, Market Hive has been in development for over 4 years, and we've raised money eternally through an ILP type of thing. I'll tell you what an ILP is in a second. We've already raised almost 500, or maybe more than $500,000, but all of that has gone to the production of our code. So we have been in business now for 4 years in beta. We have an increase in our revenue in the last 4 years. Our Alexa ranking is stellar. We've gone from over 150,000 when we first started uh, to I think just recently, our recent number today came in at 16,500 or something, 16,400. So you heard us use that word traction. We have traction. So our ILP is not based on speculation, but based on performance. Market Hive's ILP means an incentivized loan program. And we're right now operating it independently from it being a crowdfunding. We are considering doing a crowdfunding, but we may not have to.
Yeah, I believe between Market Hive's ILP program and Market Hive's entrepreneur upgrade, that will propel and take Market Hive over the tipping point and propel us into the future. I mean, it's really unique to this incentivized loan program, as it's it's a debt instrument, so it doesn't fall under the SEC guidelines. It's governed by the UCC code, which is a contract code, and our lawyer, who's one of the top lawyers in Wyoming, he's the one that kind of finalized it and made sure that every component of the instrument is conforming to the UCC guidelines, and so it's considered a loan. It's out of the taxability because it's a loan, and it forces us as executives to perform and not raise too much, but also to make sure that we're profitable so we can pay this all back.
Well, and that's why I'm talking about the traction, because we have 4 years now of financial data, and we're like heading into more of a parabolic curve, not just a geometric curve. And when you look out a year from now, our projections are pretty amazing. Our system is becoming viral, and we intended it to be that way. This is part of the reason why we produced the coin. We produced the blockchain because we want to produce a social network, market network system that has a lot more security and privacy to it. And the incentives and things that we built into it are to replace the incentives of your traditional social networks. Their whole incentive is to get as much information and track on you to sell to their advertisers. We've reversed that. We are paying you for the work that you do in Market Hive. So based on that we've created this 3x3, what I'd call incentive, which means when a new person signs up, keep track of them signing up 3 people. Once they've signed up 3 people, then it activates what's known as a faucet. Now, faucet is how we distribute our coins. We're not selling our coins. We use our coins as an incentive. So the more work you do in Market Hive, the more coins you get. So unlike mining, like Bitcoin does, or staking, like some other coins do, ours is kind of a hybrid version of that too. But when you take all this together and you do the projections of 3x3, so for every person that signs up, they are rewarded for bringing in 3 people. They're rewarded tremendously, so they're highly motivated to bring in 3 people. So when we take that 3x3 projection and we do a 3x3, figuring that it takes you a month. So we base it on 500, even though we have, today, I think we just reached 20,000 members in Market Hive. But we'll say 500. So if you got 500 people doing the 3x3, so 500 people times 3, 12 times, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We're looking at 265 million members in Market Hive in about a year. Now we could do 3x3 compressed to a day or to a week. To the day, we're looking at 3 or 4 billion, and that's not going to work. So we feel comfortable with a projection of 265 million to 500 million because of what's gone on in the last 4 years and because of the fine-tuning that we're doing. And we can see the traction is really starting to kick in. And this is an important thing for you to take into consideration. Now back to thinking about the ILP. Now, the ILP represents 1 share of 20% of the company's revenue. So it's important to kind of project what is our revenue going to be. Because unlike traditional ICOs and IEOs and such, that they're selling you the speculative value of the coin down the road, our token represents a share of the revenue. So that, imagine if Bitcoin, when you first bought Bitcoin, it was worth 80 cents and it paid you like $12 bucks a month. A couple years later, it's paying you $400 or $500 a month, and it's now worth $700. Today, it's paying you $25,000 a month, and it's worth $12,000. In a couple years, it's paying you $500,000 or $600,000 a month, and it's worth $1 million. Imagine if that was the case. No coin does this. None. There's no coin such thing except ours, and it's legitimate because it's based on UCC regulations, and we have already proven, but we have many things that we're doing in Market Hive, because Market Hive is not just a social network for the purpose of being a coin. We are a market network that has a value to it of $2,000 to $10,000 a month, as we can prove that a similar company to us, not social network, but an inbound marketing platform, Marketo, sold to Adobe for $4.75 million. No. Was it million or billion? Billion. Yeah, $4.75 billion. Because their revenue model was producing for them around $8,000 to $10,000 per customer. So we look at our revenue model. Our revenue model, we're looking at about 1% to 2% of our members upgrading to the different services that we have. We already have one in place, which is about $100. So if you take that $265 million, and this is all legitimate numbers here. It's speculation, but it's based on historic financials. So you take that $265 million and you multiply it by 2%, 20%, we got $265 million.
Yeah, it's $265 million in a year from now is members. So you can multiply that by 2%.
Yeah, okay. 265 million times 2%. And you're looking at 5,300,000. 5,300,000 who are on the average paying $100 for our press release systems, our sponsored article systems, our entrepreneur upgrade, our banner advertising. And so you take that 5,300,000 times $100, and you're looking at
500 million.
500 million, yeah. So you take that 500 million. My calculator's not working so good.
That's per month, by the way.
Yeah, 500 million per month, and divide and multiply that times 20%. That's the money that's going into the ILP program. 100 million. And we estimate around 1,000, maybe 2,000. We're not going to dilute the ILP. We don't need to. They're worth and going for $25,000 right now for a full ILP. So you take that and then let's divide it by 2,000. We're never going to do 2,000, but we'll do 2,000 just to make a point. That means every month that ILP is paying you $50,000. Now, how are we distributing our ILP? We are considering doing a cloud share or a crowdfunding, and we are talking to third-party investors, and we have sold some to third-party investors. But we think we are best served to keep the ILP as part of the incentive to our entrepreneur upgrade program, which is $100 a month.
Basically, you get back what you've paid in at the end of the year, plus. I mean, at $25,000, that makes 1/10 of an ILP worth $2,500, and at $100 a month times 12, that's $1,200. So you get almost double back what you put in to put into Market Hive.
Yeah,
and so that's a huge incentive, and this is open to the first 1,000 entrepreneur upgrades, and then we'll close this door rather quickly.
Yeah, it's a matter of revenue, and so your traditional ICOs don't have revenue. They need to sell their coins in order to raise the money to build their technology. Well, we've already built our technology. Now we're raising the money to use very, very aggressive marketing to bring this whole service to the world. Now, this is not a game. It's a real deal. It's real serious stuff. It's real valuable services. For instance, you go out there to CoinMarketCap, Cointelegraph, CCN, and look at what they charge for a press release or a banner ad. CoinMarketCap charges $900,000 if you were to run a banner for 30 days. $900,000. Cointelegraph, so CoinMarketCap has an Alexa ranking of about 350. They had like some 25 million people, unique people a day on their website. Cointelegraph has an Alexa ranking, I think it's around 1,400, something like that. They have like 1.2 million a day showing up. They charge 300 some thousand dollars for a year, for a month of their banner advertising. CCN has an Alexa ranking around, I don't know, 8 or 9,000, something like that, and they charge about $35,000 for a banner to run for 30 days, and they charge like a lot of money for their press releases and a lot of money for their sponsored articles, and so they have a lot of different services within their system that they charge for, publishing out your news to their social networks, to their subscribers, etc. Now, when you compare what they're doing to what we're doing, we are 1,000 times better. We are a social network. They aren't. We have activity, constant activity within our system. We have people logging in daily and are always logged in because they're getting paid for it with our faucet. They don't.
Yeah, in 187 countries.
Yeah, we are in every country in the world except for 3. Greenland being the one we like to note, because we want somebody from Greenland to come sign up. If you're listening to this and you're from Greenland and you sign up, please contact us. We'll give you some reward or something, just so we can say we did it. But with that said, with the projections that we have, with us giving you, the entrepreneur upgrade right now includes this ILP. It also includes a banner. For $100 a month, you get to run a banner for 30, for the whole month, 30, 35, 30, 31 days, 28, whatever it may be for that month, but it's a full month. Whereas other companies that are equal to us in our Alexa ranking of 16,500, which is what we are charging somewhere around $8,000 to $10,000 for a month. It's included with your entrepreneur program. That's not going to be that way forever. We're going to start pulling that stuff out, and then the banner program will be separate from it. It'll cost a lot more than $100. And so, like I'm saying, that $100 that we multiplied times that 2% of that projected volume that we'd be bringing in about a year, it's going to be a lot higher than that, because we're going to have press releases. Well, the press release on Cointelegraph is 0.8 Bitcoin. Right now, that's about $9,000. Now, imagine doing 100 of those a month, or 1,000 of those a month. They do a lot of press releases. Sponsored articles means that we write an article on their behalf. So that's why we call ourselves a digital media publisher. But we're a digital media publisher, and we're a social network, and we're an inbound marketing platform, and we're a commerce platform. We're just about to release turning our groups into sales fronts, sales stores. So the entire community of Market Hive becomes this huge sales force, inbound marketing campaign headquarters, marketing systems, activity, consumers, buying services, and being rewarded for signing up and being rewarded for sharing this with other people. So you can see that the value of our ILP is based on this traction that is becoming exponential. And right now we're pretty much exclusively offering it through our entrepreneur program, where you get 1/10. Now, I was just sharing with Doug today that we are going to actually treat our ILP just like Bitcoin treats their coin. They have 100 million fractions, or 100 million smaller increments of that coin. They call it a Satoshi. So we're doing 100 million. We're breaking our units down to 100 million, so that once we got all that in place, you'll be able to trade it, buy it, and sell it in what we call the bit. So 1 bit right now would be valued at 0.00025 cents, or $100 would acquire 400,000 bits for you. So we're moving in that direction. But we want you to really understand that our ILP is state of the art. It's actually leading edge where the ICO and IEOs are, and we believe that the majority of tech companies that need to raise money are going to follow suit behind what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, want to second that. I agree with what you said, Thomas. It's a very simple, easy to understand way to raise money out there, and it holds both sides. It holds us as a company accountable, and it rewards the person that participates greatly based on our success. So everybody's on the same path that we all want to do the path to success. We're not waiting for a big payday. We're waiting for constant growth and constant success, and it's not in the hands of just a couple people. It's the hands of everybody that's participating in Market Hive. You know, one thing about too, just as a side note, our Market Hive coin is like we're not using it to raise money. It's just a benefit you get alongside participating and working within MarketHive.com. And you is the more you're active in there, and more you participate with the company, the more coins you earn out there. So it's like gravy on top. We're not basing the success of the company on the value of our Market Hive coin. And just to point out, as of this recording, CoinRanking.com has basically pegged Market Hive's coin, our consumer coin, which with a market cap of almost $19 billion, that's amazing. Seeing it's less than a year old, and we're just getting ready for our worldwide launch. So that's a positive indicator in the direction that we're going.
So, to summarize this and wrap this up, if you're listening to this and you're a Market Hive member, keep in mind that you're what we call an early adopter, and because you're an early adopter in our system, these offers that we have right now, where this entrepreneur upgrade that you see in our system here, it's giving you a banner program right now, included with that $100. It's earning you a tenth of an ILP, which is worth $2,500. Every 12 months, we assign a tenth of an ILP to you. It includes the press release system, which we haven't delivered yet. It includes the sponsored article we haven't delivered yet. It includes the matching bonus. So when somebody comes to Market Hive and signs up through you and they get paid 500 Market Hive coins, you get paid 500 Market Hive coins. That's already in play. But there's a lot of other advantages. And when we eliminate Entrepreneur Upgrade number 1 and number 2's release, which doesn't have the banner program in it anymore, or doesn't have the press release system in it anymore, if you have the original Entrepreneur Upgrade number 1 and you keep paying for it, it's good for the rest of its life. As long as you're paying for it, you get all these services. So imagine in a couple of years when we're at 500 Alexa ranking or higher or lower, when we're on par with CoinMarketCap, which is charging $1 million or $900,000 to run a banner for a full month, you're still running your banner for $100. So you could hold on to this for 5 years without running a banner ad, and then run it for 1 month and still save money. So don't wait, don't delay. Because once we pull some of this stuff out, it's not coming back. You'll have to buy that entrepreneur account from somebody else, and it will be, I guarantee you, at a premium. So we want to thank you for being our subscribers and to having that forward-looking understanding and becoming an early adopter with our company. We really look forward to it. And we see a really bright future ahead of us for all of us. Thank you for coming. Doug, thank you.
Thank you, Thomas.
Okay. Well, good day, everybody, and we'll see you at our Sunday meetings, or sometimes they might be on Saturday.